What's up, everybody? Crash here. Welcome back to Crash Gets the Spread, where we talk about sports from a betting perspective. It is Wednesday, January 15th, and finally we swept the board. I went 5-0 yesterday. I did get the Denver and Dallas game. I had the under. I also had Denver in a parlay already bet, so I got both of those. I got the over in the Kings and Bucks game. I got the Thunder -11. They pulled away in that fourth quarter. And I got Cleveland minus the 8 versus the Pacers. I think Donovan Mitchell had a big game. So, great day yesterday. Been waiting for it, been looking for it. Glad it happened. There we go. But now we move on to today. We have a whole, I think it's 11 games. Whole 11 games to talk about. So, couple thoughts on each of them. I'm just going to slide through them real quick. Not going to hold you up. So we have the Knicks and the 76ers. Knicks are 6.5-point favorites on the road. Totals at 219. For the Sixers, Sixers are on a back-to-back. They lost to the Thunder yesterday. No one played in that game yesterday. Of course, that's why we were under. There was no Drummond, no Embiid. Not sure who's playing today. Knicks should have a decent time beating this team. Brunson is probable for this game, so if I had to bet it, I'd be on the Knicks. Celtics and the Raptors. There's no Quickly in this game. He's on the injury report. I think he's out. Not necessarily questionable, he's out. Let's go ahead and double check that. Out with the hip injury for Wednesday's game versus Celtics. So, the Celtics almost lost to the Pelicans in their last game, and I still think 14 is too many. They have been the normal, Celtic dominant team that you're used to, but only straight up, not against the spread. So, with this number all the way at 14, Toronto only missing Quickly, I'd lean towards Toronto. Toronto's coming off a win versus Golden State, which we know hasn't been the Golden State we're used to. But the Celtics are coming off a 1-point win that they should have lost versus the Pelicans. Kings beat them. Denver they beat and covered a 10-point spread, and the game before that they lost to the Thunder. So win one, lose one, win one, lose one, and it looks worse against the spread. So I think 14 is too many, and I don't think the Celtics are as motivated to cover this big number against them right now on their on this one-off road game. So they're back home versus the Magic and the Hawks in their next game, which is going to be a back-to-back. So I'm leaning on the Pelicans. Give the Celtics a day off to get right before their back-to-back coming up at home. So Celtics plus 14.5. Hawks and the Bulls. Bulls are 2.5-point favorites at home. Both teams on a back-to-back. Totals all the way at 243.5. I like the under. I think we can see some tired legs. I'm hoping we can see some tired legs in the fourth quarter, and they stay below this total. So rather than pick a side, that's where I'm going to be. There's a chance that Jalen Johnson can come back tonight, from what I hear. So pay attention to the injury report. That could change things, but I still like the under either way. 243.5. Grizzlies and Spurs. Spurs are 2.5-point home underdogs versus a Grizzlies team who lost by 2 in their last game to the Houston Rockets, and that's dropping 2 to the Rockets in their last 3 games. So I think they're going to be motivated for this one. It was a close game all the way through. Depends on the number you got. They did cover a 2.5-point spread. I had a +2 because I bet it early. I think it went all the way up to 3.5 before the game. So just depends on what you got. But I like the Grizzlies in this spot. These two teams do play again on Friday the 17th, though, in the same gym. So their next game, whatever happens this game, we might go the opposite way the next game. You know how that goes. So I like the Grizzlies in this spot. Magic and the Bucks. Bucks are -5.5-point favorites. Totals at 211. I like the under 211 in this Magic game. You know what we do. It's going down to 210.5, so get it earlier than later. I think the Magic could have a good shot at covering this point spread. Also, had a lackluster last game. I think they can bounce back in this one. They usually play the Bucks pretty closely anyway. Last game was 109-106. Barely went over the total. I think that they'll clamp down on who they need to this game, and I think it'll stay under 211 also. So, the totals are my favorite in Magic games, and we're going to roll with that to under 211. As far as the side, I'm not sure, but at least I know that the Magic have been 2-8 to the under in their last 10 games, and that only other over was the last Bucks game and the Nets game. Next game went over by 1 point. They got to 203 with a total of 202. So still rolling with the under. Mavs and the Pelicans. I believe we got another back-to-back situation. The Mavs and the Pelicans both played yesterday. The Mavs lost to the Nuggets yesterday, and the Pelicans beat the Bulls yesterday. So, I think we might have another tired leg situation, but I don't trust the under in this situation. We might see a Kyrie bounce back game. He had 11 points last night, 2 assists and 4 rebounds, but it was his first game back. There's no Lively tonight, so that might be a little less rim protection for Zion and the crew. So don't necessarily trust the under on the back-to-back with these two teams, but I lean on the Mavs. So lean on the Mavs and a bounce back. Rockets and the Nuggets. The Nuggets are on a back-to-back with travel. They beat up on the Mavericks last night. Right, that game was in Dallas, right? Yeah, that game was in Dallas. They beat up on the Mavericks last night, so they traveled from Dallas back home to Denver, and that's on the back-to-back. So I like the under in this game. Houston's a good defensive team. I think that they will take advantage of Denver probably playing a little slower in certain cases, and I think this total will go. I think this total will be stay under 232 is what I'm saying. So that's my favorite play in this game. Hornets and the Jazz. Hornets are favored. I don't know why they'd be favored against anybody right this second. Jazz do have some injury concerns, so I guess that's why. But they still have been a competitive team recently. I would lean on the Jazz plus the 5 points at home. If this were in Charlotte, we might think the other way, but I can't see a situation where Charlotte has looked good enough in their last 10 games to warrant them being favored by 5 points against anybody. So I would take the 5 if I was betting this game. Warriors and Timberwolves. There's too many injuries right now on the Golden State side. Not even sure who's going to be playing yet. I would like for Draymond Green and probably Trace Jackson-Davis to be available against this Timberwolves team to make the Warriors plus 6.5 bet. So without them on the floor, I'd be on the Timberwolves minus the 6.5. So that would be my bet for that one. Heat and the Lakers. There's no Bam tonight. He's questionable in the Lakers game, and the Lakers aren't really trustworthy enough to lay 5.5 points with him. So if he doesn't play, I guess I'd like the Lakers, but they're 6-4 against the spread in the last 2 games, and that's mostly the ones they've covered have been mostly as underdogs. The one time that they did cover a 7-point spread was versus Portland. The other time they had a 6.5 point spread, they lost that one. So I don't really trust them, especially as favorites right this second. So no Bam. It would be a Lakers spot, but Lakers not my favorite bet. But no Bam is why the number is where it is. So last game with Nets and the Clippers. I think 14 points is too many against the Clippers team. Kawhi is still getting acclimated. He scored only 6 points versus the Heat in 20 minutes. So they're still working him back in. Clippers are going to be able to blow out certain teams, but the Nets are kind of too scrappy and competitive for a 14-point spread, in my opinion. So that would be the side that I pick. in that one. Not really sure if I'll get there with it. If I had to pick, say my favorite place would be the Knicks -6. I like the under in the Bulls and Atlanta game. I like the under in the Magic and Milwaukee game. And I like the under in the Denver-Houston game too. So a lot of unders today. Not sure about the Heat and the Lakers. Not sure about the Nets and the Clippers. But I'm trying to get to the underdog on both sides. Same thing with Toronto. I'd rather be on the underdog. And still looking at Memphis and San Antonio. Remember, they play again on Friday. Same gym, same time. So whatever happens this time, we'll pay attention to it next game. But definitely going to be watching the Knicks and the Sixers. So that'll be my favorite one of the day. I'll pay attention to that game, who's playing, see if I can make some money. So go ahead and lock those in. Let's get this money. We'll be back tomorrow to talk some more NBA.